Welcome back to another video here with Invest for Tomorrow, and all I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button if you learned something new and found value in the video, because it does help the YouTube channel. And if you're a first-time viewer, hang on tight, and before you leave, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video that I post. So here we are with Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum. So the first thing I want us to see here is Bitcoin is said to reach 100,000 in the next 18 months, and it has a lot to do with the halving. So you could see here that the asset did a surge within the earlier halvings on the time Bitcoin was buying, selling near 660, and almost 17 months later in December 2017, the value of Bitcoin rallied to an all-time high of 20,000. So this is anticipated because the most recent halving happened in 2020, and by the middle or towards the end of 2022, it would be the end of that process of that surge of 300% and 500%. That's literally the most simplest way to put it on how this is reacted, and we're going to look at the chart so that we can kind of see how it works. And if it's a little too late now for your liking or the price points, at least now you're aware for the next halving, which will be coming in 2024. And if this cools off from 2022, right, as we could see here, to 2024, that could be a sign that even though previous reactions in the chart are not guaranteed, it's doing a correlating effect. So let's look at Ethereum, how much it can reach. Well, Ethereum can reach 10,000 through the end of 2022. That's in the next 18 months as well, anywhere between 12 to 18 months. And we could see how Ethereum is a big deal with the Grayscale Ethereum Trust and so forth. So it's really influenced by them, but it's not the only determining factor. Cryptocurrency has continued to gain favor with investors, and we're seeing it all over the place in all the social medias and all types of different platforms, both retail and institutional. For institutional traders, Ethereum is emerging as an alternative to Bitcoin at the time when the price of Bitcoin is reaching new highs. Very interesting as well, because Ethereum is looked as the next point. If Bitcoin is running and it's too high, Ethereum, you can load up on more shares and more opportunity or more coins, right, per se. And then another thing too here, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has had a lot of added on positions at these highs. So in my right mind as an investor, who would be buying Bitcoin at these prices unless you feel guaranteed or there's some type of correlation that the history of the chart is showing you that could happen again and we still have room to reach it? So institutional ownership has gone up, and the most recent was on the 9th, and they're buying into the trust, right? They're not buying Bitcoin itself, they're buying the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which allows them to participate in that trust, which they're expecting it to go up, because when Bitcoin goes up, the trust goes up. So here we are with Bitcoin sitting at 56,000. Now, the most recent halving happened around the middle of last year, and we hit a low here of about $4,000, and we're sitting right now at around 56,000. Now, like that article said, back in 2016 when the halving happened, it was sitting at around $600, and it started to run up in 2017. And towards the end of 2017, it hit that peak of about right there of $19,000, $20,000, okay? And then it started to fall downwards. So if this correlating effect happens again here, which we're already seeing the run, if everything was to work out the same, this could pull back. But when you do the simple math, right, of 19,000 divided by a total amount of 600. Let's do it here together so you could see. Just simple math, quick, brief, hypothetically speaking. I'm not using the exact numbers. That's about 31 times the amount. So where it hit the lowest point here, right, was like around $4,000, $5,000. So if you do the math, right, of 31 times, and if things are supposed to react similarly or the same, times 5,000, you know, we're getting close to 155,000. So even analysis ratings are lowballing it, or this 31 percentage, right, or times rate from the previous time isn't going to happen exactly the same. If anything, because of the halving, it went down a little bit. Okay, it went down a little bit, and it's not exactly the same. Now, if the halving was to be exactly the same, then we might have already seen some of the all-time highs, and we'll have to pay close attention because the halving of 31 is literally 15 times 5,000, and you could see here 75,000. So we have some room. So if halving works with the last time's opportunity, then I would have the 31, right? Because 600 into 19 was 31. And instead of the full 31, let's just hypothetically speak, it's 15. Then there's still room here based off of that theory. But if it's still that 31 times, then they are probably basing it off of the history. And 31 times 5,000 could reach up to 100,000 plus. Now, what I also see here in Ethereum is that Ethereum is reacting the same when the halvings have happened, and it ran up to about 1,000 from way down here at $10. Now, it recently hit a low when the halving happened of 140, and that's where they're getting that $10,000 mark possibility, because from $10 to 1,000, that right there, 10 times 10 is 100, 10 times 100 is 1,000, and then you get your 10 times 100 is 1,000, and your 100 times 100 is your 10,000. That's where they're getting that whole process from. I'm noticing that from the previous reactions. So this is my take here for every single investor. And if you feel like you've gotten in a little late or you didn't know enough about Bitcoin, it is something to probably look into when the next halving starts, and the next halving should be coming towards 2024. So if things were to correlate the same as it did here and as it did here, from 2022 hitting its peak, as these articles show, right, in the next 18 months, and then here in the late 2022 range, right, then these should start to cool off from 2022 to 2024, and after that should be the next halving, and the next anticipatory run should be coming. But if this was to pull back after that halving, the way it's reacted, it hit a low here of only 3,000. We may not see this hit any more lows, anywhere between 10 to 30,000 the next halving. So something that I'm noticing is this is an asset class that, regardless through all these spikes and dips, it is going to grow in a stair-step case effect over time based off of the history of the chart so far. It's same thing for Ethereum, but Ethereum's a little bit more volatile and a little bit less moving until Bitcoin runs. So very interesting, and I look forward to seeing your guys' thoughts on this and how you feel about this one and what you guys think about Ethereum and Bitcoin if it could reach those highs. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to buy, sell, or hold. I just wanted to enlighten you guys on what I found and what the whole speculation and hype is around the $100,000 per Bitcoin coin and the $10,000 per Ethereum coin. So as always, let's make some money, and I look forward to seeing your thoughts down below.